trouble is soursop's, as you probably know, can germinate up to 2 meters below the soil surface. You can see where you've stopped. Like you got a little bit of overspray there, like that.
It's a pretty consistent pattern. Though,
Yeah,
do it by hand.
That's very good. They ordered a Solo 414 battery backpack pressure sprayer plus nozzle upgrade kit. That's never happened. I promise, it's never happened. It's me. It's not you. I'm just trying to hack the system here rather than have my phone on because it's flat. So welcome. We do have a special guest today. Just make sure that everything's all good. Yep. Oh, we got people chatting. Got a very special guest, returning guest, in fact. First ever returning guest, we believe. We'll have to fact check that. But Ben Hallam, welcome back.
Thanks, Jonesy.
Hope you've had a wonderful Adelaide day.
Oh, it's been fantastic.
It's been fantastic. For those of you that don't live in Adelaide, it's been blowing sideways. It's been raining sideways, and it's been bone-shockingly cold.
Definitely.
So we've got Dylan on the mix with no mic today, so we won't listen to him. And my infinite hack's not working, Dylan. Well, Instagram Live's not coming up.
Oh, Instagram.
Dylan's still working on Instagram, so I suppose anyone that's waiting for Instagram, we're going to keep waiting. Got a couple of questions or a couple of comments. Pittman, hello. Fix It Fingers, afternoon, lads and Kira. Vem, Jim, welcome all. And VJ, g'day legends. So some very familiar faces there. But Ben, what's been going on?
Very little.
Very little?
Finally got some anticipated rain that we've been waiting
Yes,
for.
that'll definitely help out your course.
So we had 50 mil last week. And
Jesus.
Yeah, came down quick too. So we had 24 in just under an hour.
Yeah, right.
So shit everywhere.
Yeah, there would be shit everywhere. Gum nuts, gum leaves, bark.
No, it's all over fairways.
Ducks. Any ducks? Good
No,
day to be a duck.
Ducks are gone, which is good.
Ducks are gone.
Yeah, ducks have gone.
Jesus.
Corellas are nearly gone.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. And then 6.5 mil this morning.
Yep.
And then potentially another 50 this weekend.
They're predicting quite a bit of rain, which is good, which is obviously we need it.
Yeah.
But it would have been also nice in the middle of summer as well. Would have liked a couple
10
of...
mil would have been nice in the middle of summer.
Fuck. So, because you were heavily reliant on your bore this year, weren't you?
Yes.
Yes.
Very. And one of them went down first week of January. So we only had 3
Yep.
for the hottest part of the year.
Wow.
But we got through.
Yep.
Used a lot of water.
Used a lot of water.
155 meg.
That's a lot of water.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. So when people whinge about their $600 water bill.
Yeah, that's it. Like the electricity costs have gone through the roof.
Yeah, because would you be running those pumps near all the time to pump the water up?
Yeah.
Into
so
the
you're running
dam?
the bores 24/7, and then you're running your 3 pumps every night from 8 o'clock till 6 o'clock in the morning.
For the irrigation.
Yeah, irrigation.
So do you pump from the bore to the dam, or you
Yeah.
pump directly from the bore to...
From the bore to the dam.
Yeah, and then,
then from the dam onto the course.
So you got 3 pumps out from the dam to the course.
Yeah.
Far out.
So 45 litres a second.
So you'd be able to get a fair bit of water out in the course each night then?
Yeah, 1.2 meg.
Yeah.
Roughly.
How many holes does that get through?
We can only water 9 fairways a night.
That's pretty good still.
Yeah.
Far out.
We alternate. Front 9, back 9, or odds and evens every second night.
Yeah, wow. Well, that's interesting. Dylan, no Instagram still? Still working on it, boys and girls, and they, them's, non-binaries. Well, we were having, and Scazebrook says, we were having a quick chat about Coochmite because of how much of a dog it is.
Yeah, it is a dog.
It is a dog. Obviously, those of you that are long listeners of the podcast know that, especially here in Adelaide, Coochmite is an issue. I'm assuming that your course was no different.
Yeah, 2 years ago we sprayed it 4 times.
Fucking hell.
$4,000 an application.
Yeah.
It's pretty expensive.
Far out. Do you see much of it this year?
We only sprayed once, which was in October.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we didn't have to spray again
That's good.
Thankfully.
Yeah, wow.
Up until I was under budget last year.
Yeah. Fire. And now they'll take it away from you, right? Is that how budgets work? Nah.
Normally they do.
Because normally, and this is what it was like in the supermarket, the budget wouldn't accommodate inflation or rise in wages. So they'd be like, well, you spent that much last year, that's all you can spend this year. But, wages go up by 20%, 10%. Cost of goods go up by 10%.
The budget actually went up this year, which is nice.
That's good.
So it probably went up 10%.
Yeah.
Which
So
is good.
those of you that don't remember or don't know, but Ben's the superintendent at Teacher Gully Golf Club. It's club, not course.
That's it.
Club. Yeah. Last time I was there, it was in pretty good nick, to be honest. The greens are always rapid there.
They were
Always.
pretty rapid yesterday.
Yeah.
13.5 on the stick yesterday.
Okay, that's Augusta spec. Jesus Christ.
There's no growth.
Yeah.
Like, it's shut down completely. So,
Yeah.
and then the colours dropped out of everything.
Mm-hmm.
But it still looks green after our application last week.
Beautiful.
Which
And
is
then Club Champs, is that all finished now?
Yep, all done and dusted. So that finished nearly 3 weeks ago.
Time flies. I just feel like that was the other day I was talking about that.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, the final was the 25th or 26th of May.
May.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Well, there you go. Was it a clear winner this year?
Yeah, he won easy. He won 6 and 5. No, 5 and 4.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Nice.
I wasn't in it, so
No,
it doesn't
no.
matter.
Ben's under an injury cloud. We'll put it at that, right?
Yeah,
Injury cloud.
that is injury.
Yeah.
I'll get the okay to play against.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, you got to play in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah.
All right. So those of you who don't know what's in a couple of weeks' time, it's the Australian Turf Association, Management Association Conference, which the golf day is Toro Golf Day?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I can't remember the course you said.
Concord,
like the plane?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, wow. There we go.
So, Concord in Sydney. So hopefully get the okay to start playing again so I can get a bit of practice in.
Just do it.
My number one competition isn't going this year.
No, isn't he?
No, he's not going.
Because of the works that are going on?
Yeah, I think so. So, yeah. Might be
Okay.
another chance to win another one and head off to the States.
Yeah. Do you know where the next one is in the States?
In Orlando. I've already checked.
Well, that sounds
Yeah,
nice.
my daughter's all over it. She's like, "Come on, Dad, you got to win. I want to go to Disney World."
Yeah.
So
Well, if
it's a perfect chance.
if there's not a bigger incentive than that, then How you going there, Dylan? It's funny because, excuse me, we as you know, behind me, we've got a new board and we've got the vertigo wall that you would have saw last night on YouTube with the sprayer, the budget sprayer video. But in the process of that, Dylan moved the table and the internet wasn't working. And it wasn't working last week either, but is what you said? Yeah. But we managed to get it working. We've got the soundboard working.
The dirtier, the better.
But now Instagram's not working. It's never simple, is it, Dylan?
No. It's not like
Why doesn't it like the Lawnhub Instagram? So my ultimate hack that I thought I was heaps smart about, not going to work.
I was still live on Facebook.
Yes.
Other platforms.
Yes. But, all right, well, until Instagram's working, I can probably get rid of that. Open up Restream. There we go. All right. Now, what is everybody up to in the comments? We've got a few people watching, not a lot of people commenting. So, Dylan, maybe we need more soundboard music. Oh God, but yes. So anyone that may be wondering, where's Clint, the big man? He's away. He's on holidays. So yeah, we mentioned that last week. Clint talked a bit about what it was. If you want to know, you have to go back and see it. And then those of you that haven't seen our current YouTube video, the sprayer review, which is still in here, by the way, aren't they, Dylan? Yeah, go and watch that because there's going to be a bit of more information on that in the weekly cut as well. So I'm going to talk about sprayers. So if you want to know more about sprayers, our size sprayers, Ben, you got slightly different sprayer on the golf course than a little 5 litre flat fan nozzle.
750 litres.
And how far would that treat if you're putting out liquid fertiliser?
On greens, I spray at 500 litres a hectare.
Mhm.
So, but I never fill the tank all the way up.
Yeah.
On greens, but on fairways, I'll fill it to 750. So you'll get it 1.8 hectares per load. So to spray fairways is 6 full loads. So it's just over 11 hectares in fairways.
Mm-hmm.
Greens are 1.5 hectares. Tees and surrounds 1.5 as well. So
a fair bit of spraying.
Yeah.
Fair bit of filling up.
Yeah, last week we sprayed fairways, so 6 loads, and then this week we sprayed tees and surrounds, another 2 loads.
What were you spraying?
Iron and pigment.
Yep. Get some colour back into it.
Make it look green.
Yeah. And
that 50 mil we had last week only greened up the fairways.
Yeah.
But all the members were like, the fairways have come back so good.
Yeah.
Because of that rain. But none of the rough's green.
No.
It's just the fairways.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
But I mean that's good. Obviously, the I suppose the more premium clubs are able to get out. How often are you spraying? Would you say, like in a season, if you were to do liquid fert, like any?
Sometimes we're spraying 4 times a week.
4 times a week, yeah.
Especially if we've got to spray insecticides and wetting agent, primo, growth regulator. Yeah. Probably every fortnight we'd spray greens with something.
Yep.
Either through summer.
So like fert or wetting agent.
Wetting agent, fertiliser.
Yep.
Pre-emergence, growth regulators, backward-butrazole.
Mm-hmm.
Got to get rid of the power.
Get rid of the power. Fucking power.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah. Is it bad at the moment or it's somewhat under control?
Not too bad. It's regulated very well. But, yeah, we'll see how it goes through this winter.
Yeah, obviously it's in its time now. So, and I suppose that's there's a lot of discussion online, especially in the lawn pages, about how much time you're out on the lawn, especially at home, right? So you just said then sometimes you're out there spraying 4 times a week, right?
Yeah.
So that's obviously quite high maintenance in some regard. But then you see people that say, I don't even know why people spray them once every 6 to 8 weeks in their home lawn.
Yeah.
It really goes to show that you can put as much time as you want into the lawn, into the turf, as long as you're able to maintain what happens afterwards.
Yeah, that's right.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right? So I was reading a big, massive discussion on one of the pages about, like, someone's like, I calculated putting down like 250 kilos per hectare of N this year, right? And he copped it, right? It's a lot, but he was out there all the time maintaining it. Like, he was cutting 3 or 4 times a week, like really on top of his input, like what he was doing on the back of it. And his lawn looked magnificent. And he copped it. Like, you're stupid as if you do that.
Well, if you've got the time.
If you've got the time, why does it matter? Right? Why does it matter?
Yeah.
It was, and he put his schedule up and it was intense. But, he had 120 or 130 square meters and it's his hobby.
Yeah.
Some people's hobbies are spending 18 grand at the pokies on a year.
Yeah.
Definitely. Who cares what people do, But yeah, it's just funny because, like, you've just spoken about a quite intense regime, but just what you got to do, right?
Yeah, that's it. Because we can't spray all our fairways in one day because we can't water it in that night.
Yeah, and the timing as well, I suppose.
Like, to give it a decent drink for 40 minutes at night, we can only water 6 fairways.
Yep.
So we've got to split the fairways into thirds. That takes us 3 days just to spray fairways.
Yeah, wow.
Because we've got to be finished before 8:30.
Yeah.
So it's got to be sprayed, watered in 2.5 hours.
I suppose that becomes very very technical then, doesn't it? Because you want to make sure that, I suppose, the first 3 or 4 fairways are sprayed in before the first tee goes out.
Yeah.
And then you can still probably water on 4 or 5 if you had to, but yeah.
Yeah, so we split the fairways up completely random.
Mm-hmm.
As long as there's about 400 heads per 6 holes that I've separated. Like, I think one's like 1, 4, 8, 12, 15, 17 is one of them. So they're just scattered all over the place.
Yeah, right. And how much would 40 minutes put out, roughly?
About 8 mil.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Still not enough.
Yeah.
Ideally, you could give them 10 to 15.
Yeah.
Ideally. Yeah, ideally.
Mm.
Well, you hope that it rains, but it doesn't rain in summer in Adelaide.
Not in the driest part of the country, right?
No, that's it.
Yes. I mean, I was talking to on the weekend, Sandy Creek, after my round, like, he's like, this coming rain, like, they've been able to water the fairways all summer for the first time in 3 or 4 years, right? Okay. So no trouble. They dug a new bore, like, really good outputs. Like, I think they've ramped it up to 9 litres a second out of the bore. Like,
that's pretty good.
I think the one down the bottom was getting 3 to 4 litres a minute, like, struggling, not keeping up.
Yeah.
But this new one's like triple the output. And he was saying that mowing the fairways all good, but the rough died back.
Yeah,
so
our rough's non-existent.
Because at the start of spring we had a rough for the first time. Ever since doing work experience there in 2010.
Yeah,
it's the first time I remember seeing a rough.
Yeah,
but that'll just die back in the summer because there's no point.
Yeah, it's a waste of water.
But no, hopefully, I mean, the water gets to where it needs. Obviously, the farmers as well. There's a big outcry for the farmers at the moment. So hopefully they don't get too much that it washes shit away, but they just get enough consistently that it's able to precipitate at the right amount, because like heavy clay soils, like cricket pitch soils, drain at 1 mil an hour. So you don't want a downfall of 24 mil an hour, because then see you later. Yeah. Especially on, like, not saying that we're playing cricket at this time of year, but
they are somewhere.
They are actually. I saw on Instagram there's a winter cricket league in Victoria. It'd be silly.
That'd be nice.
You'd have to play on hard wicket, surely.
Definitely.
Wouldn't be able to play turf. Yeah. Clint Osborne says shit weather in Ballarat. I don't doubt it. If it's shit here, it'd be even fucking worse. There'd be freezing there. Wouldn't be out in the goldfields this weekend, that's for sure. Be too cold, lose your fingers. Mitch might. If I have a patch of rocks under my lawn, how far down should I dig to fill back with soil? Well, Mitch, how long's a piece of string?
As far as you want. As far as you want to go.
As far as you want to go, the more the better. But I'd say once you get to about maybe 500 mil and there's no more rocks, it's probably enough. But yeah, obviously if there's some rocks there's probably some surrounding as well. So go, around the area, especially if you got a new build. Like at my place, my front lawn, my front soil is garbage. So I know if I dig that up, I have to go and spend a lot of time there to get rid of it. But I suppose as far as you want, but I suppose once you hit 500 mil and there's no more rocks, it's probably enough.
Yeah, definitely.
How we going, Dylan? I'm not, but I can try. No, I'm on my Instagram, personal Instagram, Jonesy.01. Barra. No, I'm not. Dylan, I'm not. I'll check, actually.
He's probably logged in on his phone.
Oh, that's fine.
Nah, not on my phone. No. Nah. What were your thoughts on Rory winning the Masters, completing the Grand Slam, career Grand Slam?
Yeah, I don't have much time for Rory, so.
All right, next topic. So you're not going to go see him in Melbourne?
No.
Nah.
No.
That's fair enough.
And then he came out and had a little whinge yesterday at the Canadian Open about his name getting dropped. About his drive.
Oh, about the driver, yeah. And then he just threw Scotty's name in there. Yeah. I don't understand. Like, we'll never be in his situation where we've won a career Grand Slam and made millions on millions, borderline billions. But I just think he'd be more humble than that. Yeah. Like, it's just a normal testing procedure. All their drivers get tested, as you would know, which we'll talk about, shortly. But I just, and like in last year's US Open, how he didn't really congratulate
He was in the
Bryson
car park,
and he fucked
yeah.
off, and whereas Bryson stayed for Xander after the PGA,
Yeah, he stayed for Scotty this year as well,
and stayed for Scotty. It's just, I don't know. If on one side, if I'm going to play devil's advocate, it's his job, right? And if he doesn't want to speak to the media, whatever.
Yeah.
But I suppose on the other hand, it's in his best interest to speak to the media because
yeah, definitely.
it's just, But I suppose if there was a third hand, it's good that he is coming to Australia to the Australian Open.
A lot of people go watch him, but I won't be one of them.
Depending on how the stars align, like I think. I don't know. Maybe there is because Bryson, for example, a few years ago,
came with a different story.
I couldn't stand Bryson when him and Brooks were fighting on the PGA Tour. Thought he was a fucking weirdo.
Yeah,
but that was the media, because then when Bryson came and made his own channel on YouTube, you get to, although you don't actually personally get to know him, but you get to know him. And it's like, fuck, this bloke's all right. And then he had, I would say, 3,000 or 4,000 people following him at Live this year. It was
crazy.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
It was so good. He got up on the balcony of those people's house and to get a yardage like that. That's just wicked. I would never see Rory do that. Rory wouldn't.
I don't think anyone else would do it.
No, that's right.
He's a different cat.
He's a different cat, and he do him, I suppose. But I just would have thought that he would have, I don't know, been a bit more humble.
Yeah,
but he's a weird cat. I thought Shane Lowry's comments at the Masters were interesting. Like after he's just had a shit round, he's like, I don't want to fucking speak to anyone. Like I've just had a shit round. We all want to talk about Rory, but I fucking want to play golf and I want to win the tournament too. Anyway, I'm going by.
Yeah, no, that's good.
But I suppose with the driver testing. So those of you who don't know, Ben was a professional golfer, so a lot better than everyone watching this.
I don't know. There could be a few people watching.
Well, there might be, but if I'm looking at the comments, we've got Irvo here saying hello, Jonesy and Benny.
Irvo's definitely not on that list.
So we touched on it briefly, and we could have continued to talk about it. So I suppose equipment testing, was that ever part of your? I suppose. Did you ever experience equipment testing? No.
That was 20 years ago.
Yeah, so I suppose the equipment was a bit different back then. You didn't have the, I suppose the driver technology. I say technology because they're all the same at the moment, but,
Yeah, back then it wasn't like it is these days. But 20 years ago was a long time when it comes to technology.
Yeah, because I think 20 years ago, like the Nike drivers, which were, still not massive like they were today, but.
Because there was a tailor-made driver that was illegal back then.
Yeah, okay.
So there was a few people that were using it.
Yeah.
Because the one model, it was a TP 510.
Mm-hmm.
One model was legal and one was illegal.
Yeah, okay.
So if you had the wrong one.
See you later.
Thankfully, I had the right one.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So it still goes just as far as the new one because I've still got it. But it probably only goes 10 yards shorter than my current driver.
Yeah,
doesn't go as straight.
Yeah, you look at Tiger's driving accuracy back in the early 2000s, but even not so much his accuracy, but his length. He's still hitting at the same distance.
Yeah, that's it.
Like there was a stat the other day where, actually not a stat. It was a comment. It was an opinion, more so, of Tiger only dominated because there was no one good in the field, which is completely false. Yeah. I would argue that the field in the early 2000s was much better and stronger than it is right now. Yeah. Not taking anything away from Scotty because he's a fucking absolute jet.
Yeah.
But I suppose the thing about Tiger in early 2000s is the Nike gear wasn't renowned for its accuracy. It wasn't renowned for its, dispersion. All it was renowned for was the way that Tiger could play and hit a golf ball. He would have won any tournament with any golf club.
Yeah, wouldn't have mattered what he used. He could have used the hickory shaft and still would have won.
He could have used the Dunlop Special from Big W for $49.95 and he's still smacking people.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So I suppose I can't remember exactly what we touched on last time but golf, but let's go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
When did you first start to think I can play this game? When you were younger.
Well, I started playing as soon as I could walk.
That's right, Kapunda.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, I remember this now.
My
yes.
dad and my grandpa were
That's right.
volunteers at the course, so I just tag along and fuck around every day.
Hit the golf ball.
Probably when I went to high school was more when I started actually concentrating on playing more golf. I was practicing every night anyway. But yeah, playing footy, and then got sick of playing footy and thought, nah, golf's where it's at. So when I finished school in 99.
Fun fact, I started school in 99. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I finished in 99, and Mum and my sister had moved down to town. And Mum and Dad said, you've got a year to get to somewhere decent, and we'll see how you go from there. So I got from 7 to scratch in a year.
Wow, that's wow.
So, but I was practicing every day. I was hitting 400 or 500 balls a day, playing every day. I was at the course. My sister would drop me off because I didn't have my license. She'd drop me off before she went to uni at 8 o'clock in the morning and pick me up at the end of the day when it was dark. So in summer, I was there from 8 till 8.
Fucking hell.
Just practice.
Did you, when you say practice, as in you drop multiple balls, hit from different locations, or you just played like 12 hours of a round of golf sort of thing?
No, so I'd hit balls for 2 hours when I got there. And we'd go out and play. Then we'd be on the chipping green. There was 3 or 4 of us that were always there, just taking the piss, mucking around, playing. And when you've got someone else there with you, it makes it a lot easier.
Absolutely.
Because you compete so hard against that person because you don't want to lose.
And they're all good as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So school holidays was good. So a lot of people looked up to me, which was good.
Yeah.
Because they saw how quick I got from 7 to scratch. Yeah, and then
I suppose if we're going to play a game, is what would scratch back then relate to today? Still scratch or
no? So the best I got to was +3 on the old handicap system.
Yeah.
Which I'm assuming would be +6 or 7 these days.
Genau.
Because the new handicap system's a joke.
It's so whack, eh?
Yeah.
Like you can be so good. You can be consistent and nothing really moves. You have a blinder and you drop a whole shot, which is what happened to me. And now I haven't been able to match that, but I've been like capped.
Yeah. It's like the 8 of your best 20. 8 rounds, your 8 best rounds of 20 rounds. Like I was shooting 5 or 6 under every second day.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would have been at least +6.
Fuck.
I remember playing at Gully one week. I had 46 under in a week.
Jesus Christ. I don't even know if I had 46 birdies.
So yeah, in 7 days, I played every day, 46 under.
Fucking hell.
So I had 9 the first day, 8, then 2 sixes. So I'm like,
it's pretty serious.
Can't find that form these days. Though.
Well, I suppose you could, they say you find your own form, but, there's guys.
If I practice, it might be a different style.
But like Ricky Fowler, for example, he would practice golf every day and he hasn't been able to find his form that he had 10, 15 years ago.
There,
he is. But wow, that's a phenomenal stat.
I went to Lady Bay with one of my mates, Nick. We played skins. We played 36 holes. I made 16 birdies and an eagle. And I think I won like 45 skins off of it. He still goes off about it today, and that was 20 years ago.
That's phenomenal. Jesus Christ. Yeah. So pretty serious.
Yeah.
Dylan Butler, good darts. You know Dylan?
No.
He's a really good golfer out at Sandy.
If I could putt, I probably wouldn't be sitting here now.
Yeah. And I mean,
if I could hold more putts, I wouldn't be sitting here now.
If you go from one extreme, obviously Augusta is about placement off the tee and putting, right? And I don't think putting, if you can putt anywhere in the world, you'd save shots left, right, and center because if you can guarantee 2 putt and a few 1 putts in there,
But I remember shooting even par and hitting 16 greens. That's how bad my putting was at that time.
Yeah. See, I'd be happy with that.
Not when you're trying to do it.
No. That's what I mean, and that's the difference between someone very good and someone that's off single figures. Like some days it works, some days it doesn't. But then, like you said, you're practicing every day.
Yeah.
You want to.
When you're grinding on a putting green for 2 hours a day, and it's not working.
Yeah.
And you start to contemplate life choices.
Do you think there's much? Technology amongst putter heads, or do you think it's more feel, or do you think everyone's different?
These days there is.
Mm-hmm.
They've gone to the lab putter, which is a zero torque, and everyone else is bringing that out now. I haven't tried one.
Yeah,
I'm leaning to get towards trying one.
When because I'd never seen a lab putter in real life until we went to America, and they had them at one of the golf stores there, Dick's or whatever it was.
Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yeah. They had a big putting green, like a fake one, obviously, but then they had a lot of lab putters, and fuck, they look odd.
They look weird. Royal Adelaide got them in the shop there.
Yeah, okay.
And I saw one when we played there before the golf day, and I'm like, not convinced of how they look.
And I had a few putts, so they felt like a putter. You know, but again, I'm not at that level where. But if I could pick up a cricket bat, I could tell straight away whether there's going to be a good bat or not. Where putting for me is very hit and miss. So
whatever you feel comfortable with, I guess, because some blokes have used the same putter for 30 years.
Yeah, well, Tiger has.
Yeah, I change putters every 3 weeks.
It's more than his underwear.
So I was changing putters all the time just to try and find something I liked. And then the one that I was shooting all the good scores with, I got a bit angry one day and snapped the shaft, and it was never the same since.
Yeah, okay.
It ended up in the pond next to the 13th green one day. So I had to go in that afternoon and fish it out.
Oh, so you went and got it, yeah. Yeah, right, okay. So, yeah, wow. But when you say, like, you're grinding, obviously you're grinding like anyone would, I suppose, in the gym or whatever, grinding on the range. Was there drills that you would do, or was it more so?
I had my coach back then, so we would work on 3 or 4 drills. So I'd hit 5 balls with a drill and then hit 5 normal. So I'd probably hit 40 balls in an hour.
Yeah, okay.
So that was a drawn out process. Whereas these days I'd hit 40 balls in 10 minutes.
Yeah. So sort of like game simulation, like take your time, do what you need to do.
So the last 20 balls on my practice session would always be about playing the first 10 holes at Gully.
Yep.
Because that's where I did all my practice.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a lot different than going out on a Saturday morning, hitting a few balls, and then off to the first.
Well, these days I'd come straight from my office, get changed, drive to the car park, walk to the first tee.
Yep.
And wonder why I'm 4 over after 5.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck. That's, yeah. So you went to the States as well?
Yep. So 2003. I went to college.
Yep.
In North Carolina.
So was that, so college is separate to Q school?
Yep.
Yeah.
So college is, amateur based.
Mm-hmm.
But that was interesting.
Yep.
So most colleges only have 10 players on their team. We had 17.
Yeah, right.
And I didn't know that at the time, so I wasn't guaranteed. I got a scholarship, but I wasn't guaranteed to be on the team. So we had to have a qualifying to get onto the team, which was, for me, coming from Australia, I'm like, this is a long way to come.
Yeah.
To potentially, all I do is study and not get to play. So
you made it, obviously.
Yeah. It wasn't looking great early.
Yeah.
I was 12 over through 5 rounds. So it was 7-round qualifying.
Fucking
hell. And
on difficult courses or just court?
Well, one of them was pretty simple.
Mm-hmm.
But then our home course was tough.
What was there? What was the turf makeup there?
Bermuda.
Yeah.
Poa. So it was similar to here.
Yeah. And what were the greens?
Poa.
They were Poa greens.
Yeah,
fucking Jesus.
But North Carolina's cool enough, so you can get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think I was 12 over through 5 rounds, like 5 shots back. I ended up winning by 6 shots.
As in the whole thing?
Yeah. Well, one qualifying.
Yeah,
Which got me on the team for the whole semester.
Yeah.
I think I shot 65, 66 in the last 2 rounds.
That's good going.
Yeah. To get me back to 1 over for the tournament.
Turned it on. Turned it on. So let me just see where you say North Carolina?
Yeah.
I want to see where that is in the map.
Southeast.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of states above Florida.
Yep. So in the transition zone.
Yeah.
Big word.
That is.
Gawler.
But yeah, the
Gawler.
course, I don't know if you can Google the course. Old North State was our home course.
Old North
State.
There we go.
Oh, there was a massive lake left to 17 and 18.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah.
What a beautiful course.
Yeah, it was fantastic. That's probably still my favourite course that I've ever played. And I've played Sawgrass.
Yes, I remember that now.
I think that's the best I've played.
This course is stunning.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And that was our home course for college.
That's incredible.
We'd spend 6 to 8 hours there every day.
What were you studying at the time?
I was going to be a primary school maths teacher. So something totally random.
Yeah, okay.
From golf. So, yeah. But, yeah, that didn't work out. So, I'd been out of school for 3 years.
Yep.
And the study and the socialising was getting a bit out of hand.
Yeah. I mean, which, you're halfway across the world, right? So
yeah, and I was legal. That's the thing. I was 21.
Oh, over there, of course, yeah. There's some weird things over there, isn't there?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that is a stunning golf course. That is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That I'm assuming that green by the clubhouse. Oh yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, that's 18 green. So it's par 5. That lake runs all the way from the tee to the green.
So like 18 at Sawgrass, which is the left there, and then except you got some bunkers here. So is this an attackable green in 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to hit 3 with 5 iron.
I just hit 3 wood and 5 iron 20 years ago.
Yeah, 20 years ago when I used to hit it out of my shadow, not like these days.
Fuck, look at that.
But yeah, 17 is like it's similar to an island green. Yeah, there you go. That's 17 green, 18 fairway.
Yep.
But if you lay it back far enough off the tee, it's actually a shorter shot than if you hit it further down the fairway.
Yeah, because you have the angle.
So there's no point hitting driver.
Yeah.
Because it's the same shot, really. Yeah, it was great. That's 18th green from the other angle.
That's phenomenal. I'm sure we've got a course like that in Australia, but that would look similar to that. But there's obviously a lot of these courses in America.
They're everywhere.
That's why a majority of the good golfers or the best golfers in the world come from there, because they've got facilities like this to continue.
So that's 17 there. So the tee's just to the left.
Is this freshwater?
Yep.
Yep. You ever go fishing in there?
No.
No.
No time for fishing.
No time for fishing. Part of Evo's just died.
I can't remember what hole that is.
No, it looks fucking...
But I know it's only a little knockdown 9 iron. I remember that much.
Yeah.
No idea what hole it is, though.
AT&T. So they must have held some tournaments there.
I know they have college sectionals there, so everything gets sponsored these days at college.
God, that's from 10 years ago, but I'm sure it still looks like that.
Oh, it looked like that 20 years.
Yeah.
2003, 22 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years. They are grainy. They look very grainy Bermuda fairways.
Yeah, that photo bottom left is the 7/8, I'm pretty sure. Too dark anyway. So, but yeah, it was good. Good experience. I'd definitely recommend it to anyone if they thought about it. Yeah, 17T.
Fuck, look at that. Sorry if everyone tuning in didn't want to look at this, but I personally, I don't care. This is sick. So how long were you there for?
I went there with the plan to stay for 4 years and stayed for a year because, the study wasn't for me.
Yep.
Came home and turned pro. That Christmas.
And then you said that you practiced a lot at Glenelg. I'm assuming that's where your home base was?
Yeah, after we moved down from Kapunda. Glenelg was my home base for... I was a member there for 22 years. So
Jesus Christ. No longer, or you still are?
No longer. Since I've moved from there to teacher Gully, couldn't afford.
Yeah, of course.
Whatever
their
fees are these days.
So any big names that you let's start with paired with. and then I suppose tournaments that you participated in that they were in as well.
Jason Day, Adam Scott. No, they're the main two.
I mean, they're the only two you really need to list, right?
Adam Scott's only a year older than me, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly a year. Same birthday. So I just didn't get the genes that he got.
Fuck.
We played the junior masters at Royal Adelaide one year, and he won by 14 shots.
Jesus Christ.
We knew he was going to be good then. He was the only one to shoot under par. Like it was,
And how long ago was that?
Junior masters would have been 99, so 98, 99.
Yeah.
Long time ago. But he was only 17 and he killed it.
Fucking hell. That's pretty special.
Yeah, he just hit it so far.
Yeah.
I thought I used to hit it long, but
I mean, he's obviously known for his pure swing.
Yeah.
Was it pure back then as well?
Yeah, it's always been pure.
Yeah. It's surprising that he hasn't really won much more than what he has.
It's all about the putting.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I mean, he's got the big broomstick, right?
Yeah. Yeah, if he could hold a putt from 10 feet, he probably would have won the Grand Slam as well.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only reason he won the Masters in the end was that part that he trained. That was, and obviously the other 4 days of golf, but, but yeah, far out. That's incredible. So he was in Junior Masters, and then where did you play? And
we played an interstate series against Jason Day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember. We played foursomes against him in the morning. Can't remember who his partner was, but I think we lost 3-2. We were pretty happy.
Yeah,
so,
I would be.
Yeah, that was in 2007, I think.
2007. He won
I got my card in 2005 and then lost my card and got my amateur status back straight away.
Yeah.
And got back in the state team. And I think it was that year that we played them in Tassie. I think we lost 3-2 or something. We were like,
where'd you play in Tassie?
Launceston Golf Club, I think it was.
Was that a nice course?
It was a long time ago.
Yeah. Fair enough. The only golf courses I know over there are like the big two, Barnbougle and the other good one. Isn't there two? There's two big ones over there.
Well, King Island. And that's got, I'm trying to remember what they're called. Vanamental Bank as well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I just
Royal Hobart's pretty good.
Yeah, okay.
Launceston Country Club. Tasmanian Golf Club. I got a few good ones down there.
Yeah, wow.
7 Mile Beach has just opened.
Yeah, okay. Did you see the one on KI? Did you get the Turf Talk book?
I've seen photos of it.
Yeah.
But
It looked good. I'll get that up.
It looks really good.
One moment, please. For some reason, I'm subscribed to the Turf Talk book.
I think they've got 4 or 5 more holes to seed of the greens, and then they're done.
Do you know what the idea of that course is going to be? Is it to drive tourism over there? Because, I mean, it costs an arm and a leg to.
Oh, it's going to cost them a fortune to maintain it. Oh, I think they've gone with shift tough fairways.
They have. That's if you know what the Turf Talk book is, you know why it's in there. But it's a Lawn Solutions magazine.
And then they've gone with fescue greens.
Yes, which
is the first course to do that here in Adelaide.
Yes,
South Australia, which is going to be interesting.
I've told this story before, but somehow I managed to have myself talking to the guy who decided on the fescue greens at one of the events we went to. I was very shocked. I had no idea who he was, and he just started talking, and I was, "Oh, what are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I've been part of the design and all that of the Kangaroo Island golf course, or whatever it's called."
The Cliffs, isn't it?
The Cliffs. I've gone past it. I can't do two things at once. I'm fucking horrendous. Where is it? I don't care about the New Buffalo. They're all the same. I've obviously read it somewhere else because it's not in Turf Talk. I want to get it up now. I want to show everyone.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I think you even show me.
Because I've got something. I've got a voucher for Kangaroo Island, but like I can't to take the van over there as well. It's going to cost me a fortune to take the car and the van. Yeah, so this is all tiff tough. Like it's pretty special views. See the salt rolling in. So I'd be interesting to see how much of an impact that has.
Yeah, definitely.
I was reading the article and it said that tiff tough salt tolerance is up there with one of the best. But like obviously the undulating fairways, it's obviously growing in still. So some pot bunkers.
Thousands of kangaroos from what I've heard.
Thousands of kangaroos. And then that's the same image from the before. So, I mean, it looks nice.
Yeah, the views are fantastic.
The wetting agent charge is that'll have to probably be injected, I would have thought, if you wanted to keep it alive well, I mean, in saying that, Tiff Tough does have the watermark of approval tick thing. So it'll definitely be put through its paces out there. And obviously, the Barossa Park, which is where the gather round was, that was obviously Tiff Tough as well, oversowed with perennial rye. So, I mean, by all reports, the first few, the first football AFL standard oval held together nicely. Yeah, so,
unbelievable.
And then they've got, in that Turf Talk book, they talked about cricket pitches as well that had Tiff Tough for the first time. There'd been a few Tahoma pitches that would break up a bit quicker. I mean, it's cool.
Yeah.
And those of you that are Water Pro fans as well, they shared the what was it? Master Landscapes video of the turf farm. That was an interesting watch. They talked about the challenges they have out in the turf farm, how they have pretty much scrapped Sir Grain zoysia because, although it looks good when it's established, it takes ages to establish, and people weren't installing it correctly.
We've got 1 square metre
on the course, or
as a trial, but it doesn't grow.
Well, there was that zoysia at Nudgee, remember?
Yes.
Around that green,
yeah.
And that Barb, was it Barb that we played with? Yeah, she was fucking slagging it off. She hated it. Remember?
Yeah, it was around all the bunkers.
Yeah,
it was horrendous.
Yeah, I mean, it looked nice.
It looked great, but
it was dark green. Have you seen the rough at Oakmont?
Yeah, I was watching. I don't know if you've watched Bryce's
video.
Yeah,
watched it. I watched it last night.
We watched it at Smoko today.
Yeah,
it was pissing down. Oh, no better time to watch it. But that was like he played good and shot even par.
Yeah, birdied the first, and or the 9th or the 10th, sorry, which he started on. Clint Adams says, "Afternoon, gentlemen. Afternoon, Clint. Hope all is well, mate." Oh yeah, I've actually got a message for you. Oh, I got mail. Oh, Jesus, I didn't have Teams up, Dylan. My God, you sent me all the stuff. Thanks, man.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting next week. So.
Yeah, I mean, defending champion, completely different course.
Yeah.
Polar opposite. Like, obviously at coming out of Pinehurst, dry. The Bermuda really dried out and really like ran through the fairway, obviously in that last hole that will go down in history. And, you're off the fairway, you're in sand.
Jungle.
But now, at Oakmont, you're off the fairway, you're in a jungle.
Yeah.
So it's going to be
Bryson drives it so straight.
Oh, if he can drive it straight,
he'll win by 5.
Oh, and 5 at Oakmont is like double, like 10, 12 shots. And
I can't see anything under par winning.
Well, that's what they said, didn't they?
Just watching him this morning, it's just like.
And he made a comment that they've kept the greens healthy, ready for next week, so they'll just cut the guts out of them, I suppose, now, our time. But obviously, when that video was filmed, which would have been a couple of weeks ago, I suppose.
Last week, I think.
Last week,
it was the 30th of May.
Yeah. Okay.
So not long ago.
Yeah. So I suppose what would be a process there? Would they cut them a bit shorter and then just roll the shit out of them and keep the water off of them?
Turn the water off.
Yeah.
Cut and roll. Depends how fast they want them.
Yeah.
Like, they're pretty undulating in spots. Like some of the putts you see him hit this morning, it's like 2.5 feet break from 15 foot.
Yeah, definitely.
And they're only running at 10, 10.5. Well, that's what he reckons. So if they get them up to 13 or 14, it's going to be
I mean, if Bryson says it, then it's probably true.
Yeah.
Like, he's probably got no better feel on the game than mad scientist than anyone. So
he's next level with the way his brain works.
Did you ever come across someone like that when you were coming through?
No, not really. No. I think he's one of a kind.
Definitely one of a kind. Definitely one of a kind. Nate Extreme said, I played soccer on a tough pitch that was laid this time last year. Seemed a bit thin and loads of power. Yeah, I mean, power flies in many different ways, doesn't it? Like, we've said it before, you know, birds can eat it and drop it, can get blown in with the wind, mowers, people in their shoes, socks, shirts, like
footy boots, all sorts.
Like, there's really no way of really keeping it out. And I've said this before, the gold standard for power control for many years has been used to death and it's built resistance. So then the next thing comes out and it's double the price.
Yeah.
And that builds resistance because it's a regenerative plant. And we've talked about that before. And then the third product comes out and it's twice as expensive as the second product. And then it's just a vicious cycle. And then I suppose eventually you just deal with it. It's just cheaper to deal with it, I would have thought. Yeah. Like you said, get some pack low out on it. And
try and maintain what you've got and try not to let it get any worse. That's all I'm trying to do at the moment. Just try not to let it get any worse than what it is.
Or like you said last time, just find an anthracnose gene that is only attacks power.
Yeah, perfect.
There you go. If anyone's listening, I know there's probably some mad scientists out there that closely watch what I say because I've been in trouble a few times for the things that I've said. So put it to good use this time. Yeah, that people don't like me out there, Ben.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Because I'm from Gawler. That's what Clint would say. Jesus Christ. Well, we've got 7 minutes till we draw this month's first winner, which is a solo 414. I've also got something exciting coming in for the end of financial year sale, which Clint announced last week. I'll hold on that more, but it is another sprayer option. It's still a solo, but I thought we'd get a few in for the sale. There was a end of financial year sale from solo to us dealers, so I've taken advantage of that, and I think they'll get snapped up pretty quickly.
Well, I got a new solo a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
7-litre battery backpack. It's fantastic.
7 litre?
7 or 7.5 litres.
Yeah, okay.
It's great. It's not too heavy.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the main reason that sparked my interest.
I might have stepped on your toes there, maybe. So
no, it's all right. No, it's not a 7. No, it is a 10 litre. The one that we've got. What's going on here? Hi, Bye said, man, haven't gotten out this year. Feels bad. Okay. Bryson's got his caddy rolling balls down the green at midnight. Face blue smiling, face blue smiling, face blue smiling, pre-recorded. Is this podcast pre-recorded? No, it's not. It's live.
No, definitely not.
And La Marvelous says, Lawnhub, what the fuck? That is wild. That is wild. That is what we're here for. The wild times. So Instagram's a bust today.
That's not my fault.
Yeah, I wonder why. Would that have something to do? Maybe. I'll message you my thoughts, Dylan, rather than saying it out loud. One moment. Like, and it's picking up his phone. Nah, just like Shopify this morning. Shopify, 100,000 orders. We're actually well past that now. The nice little plaque. Everyone displays their. Well, not everyone, because not many people in our space have 100,000 YouTube subscribers, but not many people can display this. This is quite special. And I tried to surprise Clint, but I'm not the store admin, so I couldn't surprise him. Yeah. So I ruined the surprise by saying, Clint, can you just please respond to this? But no, what are we at the moment, Dylan? 119,000. So slowly approaching 120,000 orders, and that's phenomenal. And we couldn't have done that without the great people at home. So, and maybe at work, might be people at work watching this
definitely
on the shitter. It's a long weekend Australia wide this week.
So.
Yeah. Yes, it is the king. Is this the first king's birthday or the second king's birthday? Second. Has the queen been dead that long?
Yeah.
Rest her soul. Rest her soul. What are your plans this weekend, Ben?
Not a lot.
Are the Bombers playing?
Fuck the Bombers.
That's funny.
I'm meant to be going back to Kapunda tomorrow. Catch up with some friends.
Yep.
Family friends up there.
You go walk the golf course or nah?
Yeah. We'll just go out to their farm. Get a bonfire going and talk shit.
Yeah.
And then then we go to watch the Thunderbirds on Sunday.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And then do nothing on Monday. I meant to work Monday morning, but I might just go in and check the greens.
Yeah.
With the forecast of the weekend, they might be too wet to cut anyway. So
it's ridiculous. It's like we spoke about before, obviously it was such a dry summer, but we've had like no rain and then all of a sudden rain.
65 million a week.
Will that fill up majority of the dams and the streams around the course?
Our dam's full. I've started injecting water back into that.
Sorry.
Yeah, so I've started injecting water back into the aquifer already.
Yeah, okay.
So the dam was full. So I've put in 1.5 meg already.
And does that credit against what you've taken? Well, that's good.
So whatever we inject from the 1st of July to the 30th of June, we get on top of our allocation the following year.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Essendon playing Carlton.
Yeah, Sunday night.
Yes, and Carlton are $1.45 favourites.
Yeah.
That's scary because you would not want to be a Carlton supporter given the way Essendon played last week.
Yeah, if we played like that every week, I wouldn't bother me if we lost. But
given that, I suppose that's the ups and downs of a young side.
Yeah, that's it.
Is Sam Draper staying next season?
No.
No, where's he going?
To the Crows.
You reckon? You reckon?
Yeah, he'll come home. I think he will.
It'd be interesting to see because
if he didn't do his Achilles, I think he would have signed.
Oh, yeah, that's. I mean, I can't remember who I was speaking to, but Achilles is not like a knee.
Yeah.
Like once your Achilles has been put back together, it's usually pretty good. It's the knee that's a bit dodgy. You can do 1 or 2 knees in a career, but yeah, I mean,
I hope he doesn't go because
I don't know. Like Riley O'Brien's just been solid this year, like for the Crows.
I don't know how old he is. Right?
It was. I think he's been on the list for 8 years. So what would he be like? Maybe 30?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. See how good my here we go. Players.
I'm going to be 32.
Here he is, Riley O'Brien, 29.
29.
Yeah, but he's studying to become a doctor, and he needs to finish. Apparently, he needs to finish his degree in Melbourne because it's the only university that does it.
Do a trade.
Yeah, so maybe, right, or maybe because we also want Wanganeen Miller as well, on the halfback from St Kilda. Yeah. So maybe we can do like a big deal. Yeah. All of them can get together because TDK will go to St Kilda, so then that brings in Carlton to the deal. So maybe we can do a big deal between the 4 clubs.
Do an 18 club
deal. Yeah, and just
then Harley Reid can come to the Bombers.
Yeah, well, fucking hell,
I don't think he's worth $1.2 million a year.
I don't
not
really. Yet. I would argue that there's not many players that are worth that much, to be honest. Like, not at the moment, no. If he was getting 30 and kicking 2 goals a game with six tackles and 8 clearances or something, fucking oath. Yeah, like Chris Judd and Gary Ablett, but yeah, I don't know.
Well, Matty Rao wants to come back to Melbourne, supposedly.
That'll be big.
Yeah.
Because what have I done here? Here we go. That'll be big because that'll leave a gap at the Gold Coast, and I suppose that was always going to be one of the biggest issues with the Gold Coast good players is keeping them because
that's right.
Gold Coast or Queensland isn't really much a football state as such as like a Melbourne is.
Yeah.
So
Tassie's going to be interesting if that eventually goes ahead.
They've had to pull their election, I think. So it's all going to – I was listening to the footy show on the way to work this morning. So now Dylan's looking at me because it's 3:01.
You're a minute late.
I'm a minute late. Fire me. Get rid of me. Okay. Google random number generator. The most trusted source of number generatings in the world. All right. What's the first number, Dylan? 118. Sorry? Is that the right number? Which is my number. All right, refresh. I'm losing my voice. So we had an order at 251, which is 119. This is going to be very good odds. Oh, fuck's sake. 119, 322. No, I'm dyslexic. 323. 23. All right, I think we're there. Fuck, that was difficult. All right, so how many orders is that? Like 400.
360.
Fuck, so
350. Yeah, we'll go.
Bang on, yeah.
350.
Fuck, he's gonna be a maths teacher, ladies and gentlemen. He's good. See, he's good.
Was gonna be.
Well, maybe you pulled the pin too early. Maybe there's second life.
Yeah, that's tough.
Okay. All right. All right, ready. First solo 414 winner for the month of June. I could probably just scroll down a little bit. All right. What is it? 119? 134. Where's the clapping, Dylan? There we go. Oh. So what do we say? First name? Oh, you're joking me. It's not who it is. It's what they ordered. They ordered a Solo 414 battery backpack pressure sprayer plus nozzle upgrade kit. That's awkward. That is very awkward. Fuck. Clint and Matt, if you're listening, fuck. That's never happened.
That has never happened.
I promise, it's never happened. It's me. It's not you. That's actually incredible. Well, congratulations, Andrew M. from Queensland. We're gonna have to. I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do. Yeah. Maybe we can see if there's any other stock that you might need. We'll work it out, but we'll record this, and that was fuck. That's incredible. That's honestly that's. I suppose we've given away stuff before that, like ultimate spray packs and roots and shoots, and I suppose they're a bit different to a sprayer, right? You can always have more product. You might not necessarily need 2 sprayers, so.
You could palm it off to his mate.
Yeah, Andrew, we'll be in contact. We'll have something sorted. That's incredible. That's somewhat made my day. There we go. Get rid of that. We'll go back here. Bont is worth that much. Bont is in very good form at the moment.
Bont is a gun.
Okay. All right. Sorry. All right. So Hi Bye said nice. Sub to you guys. Thanks, Hi Bye. How are you guys doing this season? as in selling fertilizer. It's a bit cold, but we're getting there. Football-wise, my team's currently third on the ladder. Essendon are doing well.
No.
Yep. Be positive. Clifford said, how low do you think you can cut your fescue blend with a cylinder mower? Well, Clint's fescue blend can be mown at around that 4 to 6 millimeter mark. Are you able to share the fescue types in it? That's a good question.
We were cutting our fescue at 6 mil.
Yep.
We were planning on using it as cold replacement.
Yeah, okay.
To see how it went. Trying to stop the cooch encroachment so we could spray it out.
Yes, this was going to say, because fescue has quite a large amount of things that it's not tolerable with, but it also has a large amount of lists that it is tolerable with that cooch isn't. Yeah. So,
but yeah, the wear with how much traffic we get, got absolutely smashed so quickly.
It's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's not like a football oval where you can reseed straight after the game, get enough water and heat into it, and you get shoots up by the next Saturday. It's it's not like you said with the traffic.
I think it lasted 6 weeks.
Yeah, wow. And then it was gone.
Yeah, and rip it out, put some bent back in.
Yep.
Nothing like double handling.
Nah, nothing like double handling at all.
Especially when it's 60 square metres.
Let me just double check, Clifford. I do want to get. I only like dealing with facts here because, like I said, my mouse got me in trouble before with some incorrect information. So, let me just double. I'll definitely losing my throat, my noise, my fucking Jesus, my voice. How am I going to go at the footy tonight? Screaming.
No, you won't need it tonight.
What, you think the Crows are going to get done easy?
No, I think it'll win easy tonight.
You reckon?
Yeah, I don't rate Brisbane very highly.
Okay.
I don't know. Collingwood, unfortunately.
Well, the Crows did put it to them at the G.
Yeah.
The closest team really to get near them at the G all year, other than Geelong, who obviously beat them. But
we gave them a shake for half a quarter.
Yeah, at the Boxing Day. Yeah.
Anzac Day.
Anzac Day. Sorry, yeah, Anzac. Fuck, I'm telling you, I can't do two things at once. I'm fucking useless. I can't. I've just lost it. I've lost the plot. All right. I've got it now. Here we go. All right. So the seed blend. So it's a mixture of chewing red and chewing's fescue, creeping red and chewing's fescue.
Yeah.
It looks nice. Like Clint's does look nice, but like you said, it's, I suppose, the wear tolerance, and it's not one of its key features is, wear tolerance, but as you said, provides the ability to chemically remove other grass species as well, obviously with its endophytes, but obviously chemical options you can use to get rid of the cooch and the kaiku, but you wouldn't have too much kaiku on your course, would you?
Yeah, it's coming in more and more.
Yeah.
But not too bad.
Are you finding it's like becoming resistant to stuff, or you just...
No, we only use Monument and Drive.
Yeah.
So it does a pretty good job.
Drive, quinclorac.
Steer, whatever they want
to
call it these days.
Same. It's such a commonly used herbicide in America, quinclorac, but here it's like a taboo word.
Yeah.
Especially in the home market. My God, do not mention on any of the pages on the lawn pages for the home market. Oh my God. But yeah. And that does a pretty good job.
Yeah.
It smokes it. Yeah. Well, it's supposed to anyway, right?
Yeah. When they're mixed together, it's pretty hot.
Yeah.
It touches the cooch up a bit as well.
Yeah, okay.
And then it just colours it. It comes back pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the kite's non-existent.
All right, so Clifford. So it's a chewings and a creeping. Merlot and another style.
Because there's sheep and hard fescue that you could probably make.
Yep.
Because we put all four together. There's sheep and hard fescue with the creeping and chewings.
Yep.
And that produced really good surface.
Mm-hmm.
just wear wasn't great.
Would they? What?
But when you're cutting it at 6 mil,
Yeah. What happens when you put in a green then? Are those just different cultivars or?
yeah, it must be.
It's got to be, right? But it wouldn't. I don't think I've ever played on a fescue green. To
Have
be
you played
honest,
Barnbougle?
nah.
No, never.
And Matt has.
Yeah. Ask Ervo.
Mm.
Ervo, if you're watching.
I'm just more so thinking, would it be more of a grow in and roll sort of green rather than an actual like double cut and roll? Whether it's more rolling, so it's all. I don't know. I can see it being at 2 or 3 mil, but I also see the stress that especially on KI.
Yeah.
With the wind.
Well, Barnbougle would be the same.
Yeah, true. Yeah. I suppose you got the cool down there as well, but you still got the wind. So I don't know. Well, they obviously do it, so they obviously know what they're doing. Yeah. Excuse me, losing my sound. Oh, I legit thought this was a golf stream. Sorry, I actually have a genuine. How do you guys feel about electric mowers? It's a great question, hi bye. I personally got nothing against them. I think the technology that's coming out is better and better. But in a home setting, no dramas at all. What are your thoughts about electric mowers?
Well, for us, it's almost going to be, we don't have a choice.
Mandatory.
With all the houses we've got around our course. We've got noise restrictions and neighbour complaints and
dumbest fucking thing ever. Golf course was there first, but anyway.
Yeah, but we're probably going to have to go with a full electric greens mower eventually.
Yep.
We've got the hybrid with the electric reels, but full electric will be the way we have to go.
Performance the same?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the reel noise is all you can hear.
Yes.
If your reels are too tight,
you can hear them.
It's no different to having.
Because what do you got out there, Toro? Or a combination Toro and John Deere, or just all Toro?
We've got a few John Deere machines, fairway mowers and rough cutters, but
Mm-hmm. But all greens are Toro?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't have walk behinds. We're always trip wax because we've only got 6 staff.
Yeah. But in a perfect world, you would have all walk behinds?
Yeah.
Walk behind cut?
Walk behind greens every day if I could.
Do you think that's a point of difference?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Especially through winter. Because then you don't have the footprint of the tyres going across the green 4 times a week.
That's true. I didn't think of that. I was more so thinking about the weight.
Our greens would be better quality through winter if we could walk behind. So we'll get 3 eventually.
Yeah.
We'll be able to do it because you don't have to cut your cooch as much in winter. But I'd still have to cut with the trip wax in summer because the stresses of cutting all the cooch twice a week.
Could you, and this is simply because I don't know, after the triplex, could you just roll the tire marks out with the roller, or it doesn't work like that?
No, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Like we roll twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, and cut 4 times a week.
Fucking hell. Under regulation as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. I suppose what are you cutting at the moment, like 3 or 4 mil?
3 1/4.
Yeah.
It only went up last week from 3 mil after the club championships and raised the height 1/4 mil. We've got our club Varden next Sunday. So once the mechanic gets back from leave, we'll go back up to 3 1/2, maybe 4 by the end of winter. We'll see.
And what's that for? To protect the turf over anything else, or to retain colour?
No, just protect the turf.
Mm-hmm.
Try and get through winter with some grass left on the green instead of mud.
Yeah. I don't think I've played Teacher Gully in the winter.
Winter.
Okay.
We got less than half a catcher off the whole course this morning.
Yeah, right.
So they've shut down.
Fucking hell. And then
so when you're cutting 1.2 hectares and you're only getting half a catcher, 3 reels, so you're getting probably a full catcher off the whole course.
Yeah, fuck.
Not a lot.
No, that's not a lot at all. Considering like I got a third of a catcher of the ryegrass out here, that's gone bunter.
50 square metres.
What do we on Google Maps? We calculated roughly 130-ish.
Oh,
yeah,
don't look that big when you drive in.
Ish.
Yeah.
I loosely use the term ish, and I do that because when we mix stuff, I do 130-ish because I don't really know.
You got to get the wheel out there then.
I do need to get the wheel out. Or when Matt's got the GPS here next, we can just done. And then we'll get an actual. Maybe we'll do that next time the GPS is here.
And then the tree might mysteriously disappear.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah. We actually got some good stripes this week, didn't we, Dylan? You can't see them anymore because of the 400 millimeters of rain that we've had and the wind and debris and the half the sandcastle that's blown in from next door.
We got a wedding area at our place and we put fescue and ryegrass in it a few years ago. You could see them any time of the day. You can see them at night.
Your stripes?
Yeah. I'll get a photo for you.
All right. Then you can send it to me. I'll get it up on the screen.
It was next level. And I made a bit of a mistake with my calculations for my knapsack.
Yeah.
When I put iron out.
A bit too much iron?
Instead of going out with 200 grams.
Yeah.
I went out with 2 kilos.
Yeah, right.
So I'm working it all out. I'm like, yeah, it's great. 2 kilos, perfect. But
oh my God, we've missed a whole lot of fucking questions. I'm so sorry, guys. We just started talking shit.
That's standard.
Yeah. So Nate Extreme said, can confirm fescue doesn't like foot traffic. Fucking wallabies keep on stomping mine to death. Hi, bye. Just want to say I'm loving the stream. Thanks. Hi, bye. Nate Extreme, Dogs lost to Collingwood by like 10 points and a minus 20 odd free kick differential. It's been ridiculous this year. The umpires, even though they have now split the hierarchy of control. So we'll see how that goes. Riley Brannock. Sorry, Riley.
I don't. Jonesy, I'll send them both to you.
Yeah. There's some really good questions here. Some really great questions here. I'll get to them very, very soon. Let's stick in there, guys. We're going to see the miscalculation. Yeah, we might have put money shot out the front on the lawn here at a slightly same rate.
But I wish I could spray all the fairways at that rate because it was next level.
Yeah, it was. What did you send them to me on?
I'll text them to you. Will come through?
Not yet. But while we're waiting for them to come through,
I'll send them to you.
It just could be the fact that they've got a plane up and they've put their trackers, their blockers on.
I'm not friends with you on Facebook, Jonesy.
Oh, why not?
I don't know.
Bastard.
Maybe you don't love me.
I love everyone. I love everyone equally.
I'll email them to you.
Anyway, I've got a question here from Riley. So Riley's the young man who answers all of our questions online. Hello, gents. Sorry if this is a common question, but what type of products are used on the Tea Tree Gully golf course? At this time of year. Sorry? At this time of year.
At this time of year?
Yeah.
So I'll go out with a liquid or granular that is water dispersible. So
yeah, okay.
SG bent grass, it's called, made by Simplot. So it's only 11 kilo bags. I think it's 26. I don't remember what it is, 26, 3, 14 or something.
And that 26, 3, 14 is like a pretty standard analysis on the course in terms of like MPK?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And fairways 23, 2, 13. I think that's what you guys.
Yeah, we're at 25, 0, 10. Yeah. So very similar.
Yeah.
So
I'll go out with 2 bags a hectare.
Yep.
This time of year, every 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Just to keep them ticking along. But I only put it out on Monday and it hasn't kicked in yet.
Well, it's been too cold and we got 13 degrees on.
Oh, Wednesday we had the biggest frost. Wednesday was unbelievable.
Yeah. And I suppose.
But that's really it this time of year.
Yeah. So just some liquids.
Just some liquids on grains. But yeah, nothing too serious.
Because all the hard work would have needed to be done a couple months ago, like feed up the cooch, get it ready, get it built.
But the cooch was looking really good. And then
the frost.
I went on holidays and come back and it was white. It was.
Yeah. And I mean,
we had a lot of frost when I was away.
And that's important to note because you can put as much input as you want into your warm season variety of grass. But as soon as those frosts hit, and if we get back-to-back frosts, game over, isn't it, really?
Yeah. What's your email address, Jonesy?
Adam at Lawnhub with an L.com.au. There used to be a button that Clint used to click and it'd come up on the screen. Remember that, Dylan? That's all right. You weren't listening to me. I get it. Clifford here has written, currently have ryegrass front lawn, no traffic, but some shady spots, which I was thinking about chucking in some fescue. Definitely worth a shot. Some fescues have some better shade tolerance than others, but fescue is more shade tolerant than ryegrass. But it's worth giving a shot. There's some really good websites online that will sell you a kilo bag, which is probably all you need for a little area. You don't need too much, and then just keep the water up to it in those areas, but not enough that it's soaking, but just enough that it's damp. James DePiri. If I was going to buy a mower for under $1,000 for 400 meter squares of grass, what would you suggest? Depends. Do you want to walk behind like a Scott Bonner or a self-propelled rotary mower? If you want a cylinder mower for $1,000, you're probably looking at a Scott Bonner 17-inch used. I don't know. Did we discuss? Do you have a lawn at your place?
Yeah. Oh, that looks like a lawn.
That's hilarious.
I got a blue heel, I remember.
That's right. Yeah, fucking dogs.
Non-existent.
Yeah.
The front lawn, we've got a 50-foot pine tree out the front.
Yeah, fuck that. But it provides good shade, you said.
For the house.
Yes, for the house. Yes, I remember. It's all coming back. So, see, people tell me stuff and it's here. It just sometimes gets
so the lawn
lost.
Look like a lawn in 6 weeks when all the
winter grass comes back.
All the broadleaf leaves come, just cut it down.
But yeah, you could get a really good rotary mower for $1,000. Or for $1,000, probably looking at a used Scott Bonner or a used cylinder mower. If you're in the States, you can get a Greensmaster for $1,000. Yeah. It's bloody ridiculous. You can't get a Greensmaster here for $1,000. Be nice if you could.
Can't even get a Toro walk behind for.
No. So yeah, you've got some options there. 400 squares is like a decent area as well. You could probably get an entry level ride-on for like a real entry level second-hand ride-on maybe for around $1,000. But yeah, if you're looking to cut the cylinder mold, look at a used Scotty, to be honest. Dylan Butler, you see some bent grass greens that have very minimal grain and others that have a lot of grain. What causes this? Assuming it's simply how it is maintained, or is there more to it?
Different variety of bent grass.
Different variety of bent grass will cause the grain?
Yeah, definitely. We've got a lot of grain.
Yep.
Yeah, we do brush it out and groom it, dust it every fortnight to try and control our grain. But yeah, there's a lot of different bent varieties out there.
There is.
Because I'm in the process of looking for something to replace.
Like replace fully or sew in?
No, replace eventually. Because our nursery doesn't exist.
Yeah, okay.
So I want to try and grow something, but because they don't make seaside bent grass anymore, I've got to find an alternative that's going to look similar. So if we do need to replace 150, 200 square metres,
you got something.
It's going to look similar.
What are your options at the moment then that are similar?
Haven't really got one. I've tried Dominant Extreme mixed with Pencross, but didn't. Tolerance wasn't so great to our water.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, that's important too, right?
Yeah, that's why I got to do a trial. Did a trial on the nursery. It tried to water it the same as I did on the course, and it lost it after probably March, and it got hit by stem weevil as well. Really bad. I went from a patch the size of a basketball to half the grain in 3 days.
Well, that's just fucking, that rips the guts out of it, doesn't it? Fuck that. Yeah.
But yeah, there's a few that I'm going to trial once the weather gets a bit better.
Yeah, okay. I suppose, yeah, if you're trying to match the existing something similar, I'm sure.
There's a Arrowtown brown top that might have the potential to be similar, which they use a lot in New Zealand. So,
yes, that sounds very familiar. The brown top, Arrowtown brown top,
Arrowtown brown top.
Arrowtown brown top. Mm.
And then there's McDonald bent grass. I've done a bit of work with that. We use that at the front of our 15th green when we put our new dam wall in.
Yep.
And that didn't survive too well at the nursery, but since we put it in there, it's fantastic. So I'm going to do a trial somewhere else on the course with it.
Is that on the green or in the surrounds?
That's on the collar. So it gets a lot of traffic.
Yeah. That's interesting that it didn't survive the nursery.
I think our nursery site isn't great.
Okay. So need freshen up of the soil as well, maybe?
Yeah. But yeah, I did it. I've quoted all that up and it's like 45 grand.
Yeah, it's ridiculous,
to rebuild the nursery. Because I need to get 1,000 tonne of sand in.
Yeah. Obviously the seed, those of you who don't know, elite bent grass seed can go from anywhere from $100 to $500 a kilo. Yeah. Like, it's fucking ridiculous, but it goes a long way.
It does.
Obviously. But
that's a kilo 100 square meters.
Yeah. It's a lot of money. And a lot of it is the setup. So, like you just said, the soil.
Proper drainage.
Proper drainage, soil. I quoted up a nursery and I was astounded by the amount of soil. That's where most of the cost was, the soil.
Yeah, especially if you're stripping that top 50 mil off.
Yeah.
And then doing it again before you know it, you got to bring.
Yeah, because you want to, like, for example, if you wanted to replace a full 18 greens over, say 9 years, for example, you're gonna want to have the stock there in the in the soil, so you don't cut your last lot and go, fuck.
And there's your drainage.
Yeah, there's my drainage.
There's my mega fly.
Yeah, that's going with it. So you want to be obviously well above that as well. So yeah, I was astounded by the amount of soil.
Yeah, because our nursery will be about 1,200 square meters.
Yeah, decent.
So that'll get us 2 grains with collars.
Fuck.
So you're looking at
1,000 tonne.
Yeah.
That's bang on. That's the same measurement that I got.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, they don't realise it costs that much when you present it to the board.
No, and I didn't know it cost. I didn't know it was going to cost that much until I actually quoted it, and I was like for someone else, and I was just like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
But that's just what it is, and
it's a necessity on a golf course.
100%.
You only need a vandal to come through the front gate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we spoke about it last time.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
because we had vandals the week before I came
on the scooter.
Yeah, on the e-scooter.
Fucking dogs.
Yeah, but I've got a rough idea who it was now. One of them goes to school with my daughter.
Hey, hey.
He goes fishing in our pond as well. She told me the other day, oh, such and such, he goes fishing in the dam all the time. I'm like, I'm happy for him to go fishing. Just
staff
his bike.
Yeah.
So she sorted him out.
Yeah, good. We had a kid that kept stealing from us at the supermarket, so we
chopped his fingers off.
No, we moved his bike. So he'd leave his bike out the front, come in, steal, and then run away on his bike. So we took his bike. And we never saw him again. So
fair.
Yeah, fucking. Yeah, Riley just said that's cool. I didn't expect the granular. Honestly, I think he means like dispersible granule. So the DG granule. That's cool. Yeah, I didn't even know that. That's like, obviously I knew there was DG products, but I didn't know that was something that is used. Actually,
because it comes in
in a little box.
No,
it's
in a bag.
It is in a bag. So it's in a bag, not in a bag of a box. It's in a
bag.
Because what's his name delivered here, and he had lots of boxes, and he said that, and it had DG on it. Anyway, let's have a look at these photos of the.
It comes through, did they finally?
Holy shit, that's dark. All right, let's get them up.
Yeah,
that's fucking dark. Holy shit.
I emailed him to you as well.
Yeah. You can see where you've stopped. You got a little bit of overspray there.
That's a pretty consistent pattern. Do it by hand.
That's very good.
Yeah.
I've birdied that hole last 2 times I played it. BT dubs. Yeah, that looks good.
Dark.
That looks really good.
Except for the bloke that pushed his buggy over it after I did it.
Yeah, look at that. Where's he going? He must have been coming from this way, surely.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Because you wouldn't come from here to that. There's no sense going that way unless he's going to tee off that tee.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
No.
No. So, yeah, he's hit a fucking stray ball into the clubhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some serious colour.
I was close. 28, 18. There you go.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah.
But yeah, very soluble, so that's great.
That's very green too.
It is.
What do you cut that with?
Toro walk behind.
The Flex?
Yeah.
Clint's old mower?
Yep.
Yeah.
They're pretty straight too.
They're very straight. They're a lot straighter than the ones out here. The loser that uses the mower out here.
That 20 times a week. I'd send the young bloke up there every day he worked. He'd come during school holidays. He'd come in the mornings. He'd go, what do you want me to do? Oh, go and cut the wedding area again.
Yeah. Just to burn them in.
Yeah, just burn it in.
Yeah.
So yeah, 6 times I'd tell him to cut it every time we go up there.
That's green. We didn't quite go that heavy, but that's good. I like it.
There was a wedding that weekend, so I had to make it. I don't know what her dress looked like after.
Nah. Is there any pigment in that? Or is that just a wine?
Just iron.
Fucking hell. Yeah, that's dark.
Or
yeah.
extreme green. I don't know. So that's
you can see
manganese in it as well.
Yeah. You can see that there's people been standing there. So that must have been where the photos were. And a big dress drag.
Big green dress.
No, that's cool. I mean, is that in the rough? That one, or is that like the
ryegrass?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Hang on. Let me start again. What's there? Ryegrass?
Yeah, ryegrass. Well, there's coops normally.
Yeah.
But we oversowed it with rye and fescue.
Yeah. Rye and fescue, yeah. So you got quite a combination in there.
Yeah, so in the rough, out of bounds, ryegrass.
Yep.
The blends. And then sheep and hard, creepings and chewings.
Yep.
So it's all sorts.
And it looks good.
Don't look like that now, though.
No? What does it look like at the moment?
No, this summer killed it.
Oh, that's from last year, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
no,
nice.
That's not now.
Oh, sad now.
Yeah. So you can't come and see it tomorrow.
I was going to say, I was looking forward to seeing it next time I played, but
I'll try my best for next time you
Nah, it's all right. I get it. Is there sprinklers here, or you'd have to?
No, there's sprinklers there now.
Yeah. So you could really put some water into it if you needed to.
The problem is the 10th tee's next to it.
Mm.
So you can't pop it up every 3 hours.
During establishment. Yeah. You don't want to upset the members.
No, not at all.
Ryegrass under full moon is next level. Camera doesn't do it justice. Clifford, the electric mods they are doing on some of these Scotties are pretty cool. Then there is the Greenworks electrical horizontal engine. Yes, but are close to a grand. I would prefer to throw a GX 120 on it, the Honda engine. Yeah. My Briggs & Stratton engine on my 17-inch shit the bed and just leaked fuel into the oil. Yeah, into the oil. I drained the oil and I was like, that's petrol. And threw it out.
My old mechanic converted my electric Scotty to petrol.
Yeah, okay. Was it hard?
No, it took him a couple of hours. Done.
When people know what they're doing.
Yeah, so easy.
Yeah. Just had a comment here, bloody frosts with a sad face. Fuck the frost. Isn't that right, Dylan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you decided what lawn you're putting at your place yet? Fair. You still got to put the kitchen back together.
Yeah, I'm focusing on the kitchen, the bathroom.
Get to the lawn. Get to the lawn by springtime. Well, by springtime, hopefully the Crowies finish top 4. 2 games away from the GF, and we can only dream, right, Dylan? Essendon will get a few good picks.
Yeah, from last year.
Yeah.
From the trade from last year.
And Jason Curry says, Khan the Crows. I got your message, Jason. I am going to the footy tonight. I'm not sure where I'm going to be sitting at this point if it's pissing down with rain, but I am hopefully going to be going and sitting in my allocated seat and not get too wet. Hopefully. Yes, that's nice. I do like that. Might have to add that to the stream. Like this stream. And we'll put young fella. Because he always cuts it. Or he was cutting it. So, all right. Well.
And put Jack.
And Jack.
Yeah,
Jack.
He'll be happy.
Is he still on? Is he still part of the crew?
No.
No.
He's finished. He left school and now he's an apprentice at Mount Osmond.
Nice. Bit of work going on there as well. There's a bit of work going everywhere on golf courses at the moment, I feel. Like Matt's always talking about, this is coming up. What's happening at your course? What's next on your course?
Not a lot at the moment.
Not a lot?
No.
Because your irrigation system's what?
4 or 5 years old.
Yeah, so that's...
Still waiting for Irvo to do his thing for me.
All right, Irvo, if you're listening.
Yeah, I thought I'd throw it in there.
Yeah, just, I know you're a busy man. But yeah. So yeah, that's pretty new. That's all Rainbird, yeah?
Yeah.
The Eagles?
21 years old this year.
Jesus. Oh, what, what's 21 years old?
Irrigation system.
What was 5 years ago then?
No, 5 years' time. 4 to 5 years for new irrigation system.
Oh.
So that's why we're starting the process now.
Yeah, okay. That'll be exciting.
Yeah.
Will you still be at the Gully then?
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
If they still want me.
Yeah, well, that's good.
They better be.
Yeah, hope so.
I hope I'm still there. So, yeah.
What if you had complete say in the design, what would you like to see change from the current system?
Well, the current system is just double row.
So on the edge of the fairway throwing in?
No, it's probably 4 or 5 metres in from the edge of the fairway.
Yep.
And they're full circles.
Yeah, okay.
A lot of wasted water.
Yep.
So I'd like to see triple row.
Triple row? Yeah.
Row straight down the middle and then 180s on the inside of the fairway, throwing in.
With jets out the back?
Yeah, with back nozzles throwing 6 to 8 metres to water the rough. Because at the moment we're watering 15 to 20 metres in the rough on some holes.
Yeah, wow. And if they're throwing 360s, they're probably throwing water that's not necessary.
We're wasting 15% of our water.
Yeah, okay. That'd be a massive efficiency saving there as well.
Huge, yeah. Pump costs, all sorts.
Yeah. Timing to get, 180.
Watering window, we could potentially water 18 fairways.
You can and you could probably get your 10 mil out as well that you want.
We could water 9 a night and get twice as much out.
It's crazy. You just move a few dials and the efficiencies that you're able to gain.
And get an extra pump in to get the watering window down to go 60 litres a second instead of 45 will make a huge difference.
Yeah, fuck. That's...
Because most courses have 4 pumps these days.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So...
Especially with daylight savings, you can't start watering until 9 o'clock.
Yeah, of course.
Just hitting the head with a full rotor.
Do you know about it?
Oh, yeah, it hurts.
Yeah, fuck.
I nailed some bloke a few weeks ago.
Not financial advice.
No.
Let's find that one. Where's that one, Dylan? What's this?
Somebody not know how to flush a toilet after they've had a shit. Well, it was fucking one of you.
Oh, God. What is this? What is it? There it is.
Not financial advice.
Yeah, there we go. All right. Yeah, they because they push out a fair bit of water.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
High pressure.
They our
last hot day we had, I thought I'd give the greens a syringe in the afternoon. And one of the boys was up on the balcony and he rang me straight away that I just cut some bloke in half.
Because there's no warning, is there? They just pop up.
Because when it's on the system, on the cycle, it just pops up wherever it wants to on the course.
Because
there was only 8 people on the course. So I'm like, what are my chances?
Yeah. Pretty low, but you nailed him.
Yeah.
That's so good. So funny. Because I don't know, I'm not overly familiar with the golf rotors, but do they do a flush before they pop up or they just pop straight up? Yeah, so it's not like an MP rotator where it will go and you just And for the nozzle to be aiming in the
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
For the nozzle to be aiming at him.
and for him to be at that point in the course and for that station to
Pretty
go
unlucky.
on. Yeah, it's very unlucky, but also lucky in one sense. Probably go buy a lotto ticket as well.
Yeah.
But and then I suppose you've got obviously you've got full say in the system. So like you've just said, would you change any holes as well while the stuff's being ripped up?
Oh, I'd love to change some of the holes,
Yeah.
but it all comes down to money.
So
the system's probably going to be anywhere around $3 million.
yeah. So the I don't know, you get an investor who's won the lotto. He's a Teacher Gully member.
Find another block of land somewhere
And
and build a new course.
well, I was going to say he's got a spare mill. Where would you spend the spare mill amongst the course if the irrigation system's already and the install's already been paid for? You got a spare mill. Would that go far in some redevelopment in the course, or would it be a couple of holes? Or
a couple of holes. Yeah. The second hole's terrible. I hate the second hole.
Second hole is
par
three up the hill. What would you change about that? Just scrap it?
Yeah, try and move it. Different angles so you can actually see the green.
Yep.
So many hole in ones and they don't know what's going in.
Well, I must admit, the first time I ever played there, I hit a beautiful shot and it went over the flag stick. And I'm like, oh, that's.
You got excited.
I did. I got a bit of a chub and I was long. I completely misjudged it first time playing there.
Architect has done some plans to reroute that hole.
So where, as in completely remove it and then
keep it.
Keep it.
The tee would go to the right of the first fairway, and you'd hit it towards the fence.
Oh yeah, yeah. So you'd finish the first and walk back up sort of the fairway. Yeah. That's not a bad shout.
Yeah.
You listening?
And to make the third hole a par 4. Which is what the intention was when they first built it, because it used to be a par 5.
Yes, and then the people that moved there had a whinge, which is the dumbest thing. Like, it's like people who live next to an airport.
Yeah, that's like we're going through a process at the moment, looking at fencing.
Yeah, okay. Netting,
yeah. So,
like what they've got at Regency.
Yeah, hopefully not that high. Unfortunately, too many balls going over the fence. So,
I mean, that third par 3, I've played that when it's been at 220 before.
Yeah, it's tough.
And I've wanted to just get in the car and go home because I'm hitting 3-wood and I'm not making the green. Yeah. I'm not hitting a driver on a par 3. I'm not doing it.
That's when I retire.
That's funny.
But yeah, ultimately.
Yeah, I mean, other than that,
facility would be.
There's probably not too many other holes you'd want to change outside of those two, maybe.
No, not really. Just reworking the greens, making them a bit bigger for the amount of traffic that we have. That we probably don't have the scope to go much bigger because parcel land is so small.
Unless you go tiered, you go bigger and taller, and you have a front and a back. No,
I don't like tiered greens.
I know you don't like tiered greens, but
I like to have my greens fast, so you can't have tiered greens.
Well, you can if you want to be a dog. There's a guy on YouTube that I watch, and every year there's like a Greenkeepers Revenge Day where they like cut dog pins and stuff. Maybe the Greenkeepers at Teacher Gully can have a Revenge Day, and you can
for our Christmas Ambros, we do Greenkeepers Revenge.
Yeah, okay. So, is it just one hole or all of them?
No, I'll try not to do too many.
Yeah,
probably do 6 or 7.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, that sounds fun. Like, good day.
I think on 16 I had a big hole with one of my pluggers, but it was only an inch from the back of the green. And a couple of holes, I have 2 holes and no flag, so they don't know where the pin is.
Yep. So, that's clever. That's good. Fun. Yeah. I've got a couple of questions here, and I'm hoping that you know what this is because I tried Googling it and I have no idea what it is. So
could be interesting.
I have been struggling with controlling white-tipped lobelia. Which chemical? ? I've Googled it and it just keeps coming up with white-lipped frogs.
Never heard of it.
And if you're trying to kill frogs, unless they're cane toads, I'm not really sure. So
what state? I wonder.
I'm not sure. The tag is the bearded SPRA, and then it's extended. So it's so I might respond to him outside of this. I might send him a message now. To maybe send a photo if he's still there. because I tried Googling it and it just kept coming up with frogs. And I don't mind frogs.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
Reply. No, I'll message him directly. The Bearded Spray Tech, his name is. So I'll just reply now. Have you got a picture? Maybe that might help. Do you get many sow sobs? They've
started to pop their head already.
Fuck, man. There's so many out the front
we
here.
were edging bunkers today and they were popping up everywhere.
Do you spray them at all on the course? Or you just
try and spray wall to wall.
What do you spray with?
Warhead.
Yeah, okay. It does.
Casper.
Yep.
We'll probably get that this year.
Yeah, okay.
They've got a good deal at the moment.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. If you're listening, Syngenta, I'd love to be part of those deals,
Yeah, I think the Casper hangs around a bit. It's more residual for the following year.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to talk about that. So that's what got me in trouble. So I'm not touching that subject because even though a chemical does something, if it's not on the label, I'm not allowed to talk about it. Me personally, just me. You can talk.
When we used it at Glenelg, we noticed that the sow sobs definitely didn't come back as much the following year.
Yeah, because I've had good eradication success with prodiamine.
Yeah,
with sow sobs
so
at Dad's house.
All the actives you're on.
Yeah, with Barricade, Spartan. Yeah. They're the only two on set, which is granule. But so Dad used to get them.
Yeah, and
I did 4 applications in 2 years of Spartan Barricade, and he hasn't had sow sobs since. So the trouble is, sow sobs, as you probably know, can germinate up to 2 meters below the soil surface, which is like, how can you control that? And they send their runners up, and so if you catch them in that germination area, it's all good. But if you don't, it's interesting about Warhead because those of you who don't know, Warhead Trio is the same as NSFW, same actives. Some people have had great success with it, and some people not so great success with it. It's
you just got to spray every year.
Every year, consistently, be on top of it. Sow sobs is tough because there is obviously a crop registered product for it, which is registered in the States and it's safe to use on cooch. But in some parts of Australia, you can spray
whatever you want.
You can spray whatever you want, registered or not. However, in South Australia, you got to stick to the law, and that's only spraying things that are registered for that use and on that crop. So, there is a turf registered product with that active. It is 650 times the price because it's got a turf registration on it.
Wow.
They got to obviously get their investment back to have that active for turf registration. Costs a lot of money. But this other product has been in the crop scene for years. But I'll tell you about it after.
Sounds good.
Because I'm not going to say it on here because I'll get another fucking letter, and I'm done with my letters this year, right? My front patch of Tiff Tuff gets very little sun in winter. Will it bounce back come spring? It will come back. It will come back come springtime. I'm sure you've got areas on the course that are good during summer and then during the winter. The greens. But no, warm soil temps and warm ambient temps are going to bring that back. As long as the Tiff Tuff doesn't completely die off or die back. But if it does, it'll creep in if it's good during the summer anyway. You have, what's that par 4? So after the par 3 down the hill, you've got the par 4 with the bunkers left 14. And then the road.
Yeah, 14.
Is that 14, is it? Yeah. There's a good rough that grow amongst the trees in there. Does that die back much in the wintertime, or that's sort of all right?
Just leave it.
Yeah.
That's untouched though. We don't touch it at all.
Yeah, right.
We never take a mower in there.
Yeah, okay.
Since I've been there, 6 years, I've never seen a mower in
there. It always looks so good in there though.
Yeah.
That's why I always hit my ball in there. It's enticing.
Yeah, there's a few areas on the course that haven't been touched since I've been there.
Yeah, okay. That's cool. I mean, it's nice to know because obviously, like, I walk past it and I'm sometimes in it. Majority of the time, I'm right on that hole, but
it's not in majority of the time. It's not in play.
Yeah, sometimes it is. Depends who's hitting.
That's another green I'd move. I'd move that green 30 metres to the left.
Yeah, okay. Why is that? Make it straight a
So
hole.
there's power lines that run across the top of the green. Next time you play, have a look. The power lines run.
There
over
is
the green.
too. What's the local rule there?
I'm assuming if you hit it, you get to hit it again.
Yeah, this is
But
what it
you'd
is.
hope that you wouldn't hit it because it's going over the back.
But, well, maybe it's a safe. Like it's a grace if you do hit it. Hit the power lines, get another shot. Because at Sandy, if you hit the power lines, no matter how good the shot is, you get another shot. Yeah, have to re-trigger. Yeah, there is too. I never noticed that.
Yeah.
Of course, if you've hit them, you're fucking long. But you
Yeah.
know, but yeah, going left.
So there's a nice little pocket in there. Where
There
the
is. Hmm.
Then we can move the 12th tee further right and straighten that tee shot up. Par 5 up the hill.
Yes.
So there you go. There's my money spent already.
Yeah. There's how you spend $1 million in 4 holes on a golf course. Yeah.
Sorted.
Yeah. And half of that's gone to green construction.
Yeah. In sand.
In sand, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's really like obviously if you've got the sand, you make your money in your truck haulage, but again, the cost of diesel, like wages, fuck, it's got to be selling volume. Like a supermarket, you just got to be selling volume because like you couldn't just have one truck and one quarry. You're not making money.
Yeah, no way.
You need to have 100 trucks, 200 trucks, and a quarry.
Yeah, that's got good sand.
That's got good sand. Yeah,
that's the issue, finding good sand.
I never noticed the power lines. That's got me.
Yeah, it runs from one side of the course to the other. That's where the road used to go back in the day.
Yeah, okay.
That's why they're still there.
Interesting. And then there's another one here from Stefan Benetti. Built a new house and the yard is a mix of crushed rock and clay. How do I prep for lawn? Well, you want to
excavator and rip it all out.
Get an excavator and rip it all out, as Ben's just said. Yeah, you want to remove, and we get this question quite a lot, and you want to remove as much material as physically possible and what you can afford, because the better soil you bring in, the better result your turf's going to be. So if you can pull out 200 mil of rubble shit, then pull out 200 mil. If you can pull out 300 mil, you can pull out as much as you possibly can without obviously impacting what you've got going around. Like if you've got big 6 foot high retaining walls, I wouldn't be digging out 300 mil directly below it. You'll lose it, but you know what I mean? So as much as physically possible, bring in a quality soil, go to your landscape yard, tell them what you want to do. If they've got no idea what you're fucking talking about, then leave.
And go to the next one.
Go to the next landscape yard, because not all landscape yards are the same. Some are just there to sell mulch for your garden. Some are there more specialised for, turf construction, green construction, whatever. Some of them are just there for builders to grab their rubble from and their concrete mix. But do some ringing around. I mean, your opinion might be the same or different from mine, but I'm a sandy base type of person over a real organic bark chip type mix. What are your thoughts? Yeah. So a sandy loam, 80-20, 70-30. I wouldn't get caught up too much in the numbers, but a sandy loam that consists mainly of sand rather than bark chips or black material. Then it would be irrigation. Irrigation at that time is the easiest time to do it.
Definitely.
Like you're working with loose sand at that point,
put
right?
It in before you even put the sand in.
Yeah, well, even better.
Dig it all.
Yeah, that's right. Depending on how far you go down.
If you dig 300,
just
put your irrigation.
Yeah, that's right, and just have it all on risers. It won't go anywhere. Yes, and then irrigation, compared to the cost of turf, is very minimal. For irrigation, and then selecting the right grass variety for your area. So, if you've got full sun and you want to be out there consistently, I'd be looking at a cooch 100% or a kaku. If you've got a shade affected area and you just want a nice lawn, then something like a buffalo. If you want to go full extreme, you can really get into the nitty gritties, but sort of ask At the same time, you're at the landscape yard that knows what they're talking about. Ask what is a popular lawn variety in that area. They can provide some really good advice, or what other people are using in your area. But yeah, basically dig out as much as you possibly can. Irrigation, good soil, irrigation, the right lawn variety. The cherry popper pack, that's very important for the establishment of your lawn. And then just watering it for the first couple of weeks, enough that it's damp but not soaking. And mate, happy days. There's not a lot to it. It's very scary though. I remember my first lawn, it was very scary. I had someone come and do it for me, but I wasn't in a position where I could excavate 300 mil. I just got him to scrape the top, and so that's why I'd redo it now, but it serves a purpose. Here we go. All right, so we're back. Well, unless anyone's got any questions, we can start wrapping it up shortly. Thank you, Ben.
No worries.
It was good. That golf course, that's all I'm going to think about now all weekend. I'm going to have to watch YouTube videos of people playing it, I reckon, because that's very nice. So you obviously played sawgrass as well.
Yeah.
But that was nicer.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
That's because I played horrible at sawgrass.
Yeah. I think I remember you saying that last time.
Yeah. It was windy.
Yeah. And then, yeah. What are some of the big courses here in Australia that you've played?
All the Sandbelt in Melbourne.
Yep.
Australia and New South Wales.
Mm-hmm.
Royal Queensland. Royal Perth.
They're all very similar.
Mount Lawley.
Like in terms of, like their fairways would almost be the same, wouldn't they? They'll all be cooch.
Yeah.
All the high-end courses.
Metropolitan had bent tees. When I played, that was 30 years ago.
Jesus Christ. When there was no water crisis across Australia. Well, I suppose on the East Coast there's no bloody water crisis at the moment. There's, they're the opposite of the flooding at the moment.
Yeah, they're getting 450 mil a week.
Fuck.
We're lucky to get that a year.
Yeah, we're definitely not getting that a year. That's 2 years worth.
Yeah. No, we've had more this year than we had this time last year.
Yeah, okay.
I did my course report this morning, so that's the only reason I know.
Yeah.
And we've had 96 mil this year.
Yeah, okay.
We had 93 at the same time last year.
But
we did have 50 mil last Monday.
Yes, I was going to say.
And it came quickly, so it was effectively 15 mil. Because most of it just washed straight off.
Do you get much pooling out there? Like if it downpours? Yeah. Sandy's the same. I remember walking down the first...
one of the boys put up a photo when it was coming down. And
fuck. It's a shame.
All the greens around the clubhouse were instantly underwater. I'll show you the video after.
Yeah. Good. I look for. I love seeing that shit because it's just different. You don't normally see stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's what's going on here, Dylan? It says we've only. Oh no, it's my computer. It's okay. It's restream it. It's 20 minutes behind because it's a paused picture of my face. Yeah.
That doesn't mean the stream's paused.
Oh, I hope not. Well, I don't see. Oh, nice. Well, we haven't got any new questions. I have sent that guy on Insta a message. We had this woman message our Instagram for a little bit, didn't she, Dylan? No, your mate. Yeah. Yeah, I think she got the logo wrong.
Yeah.
Like, that we're Lawnhub.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like she sent us our portfolio. Yeah. It was interesting, wasn't it, Dylan? Yeah. No, she didn't. No. No. Yeah, I was shook. Yeah. And then then her account disappeared.
Yeah, okay.
So I think Instagram got onto her. But yes, well, that's it. So no more questions. Thank you very much. I will play us out. Thank you, Ben, for joining us.
No worries.
It was a pleasure. talk some more shit, which is always good.
Nothing wrong with talking shit.
Nah, fuck no. It's better than not being able to talk shit.
Yeah, that's it.
Hope everyone has a great King's birthday long weekend. Yeah, I'm not sure. If you're in SA, probably not much you can do with the incoming rain, but if you're doing something, I heard the fishing on the York Peninsula is very good at the moment.
We'll see for how much longer.
Yeah. The squid are on apparently. The salmon are running, so and the mullet. But for the rest of the country, I'm not sure what he's going to do. So yeah, enjoy. Use is very much an Gawler word, and yeah, have a great weekend and up the Crowies.